I felt those negative repercussions of being on these online spaces. And that was 8 years ago. And today I still see the harm.
Go to LFRFamily.com. When you get a chance, go and check out the Bang Bang team. Apparently, there's a movement called Log Off. And the founder, Emma Lemke, joined the Sunday Night in America team on Fox News. And she has a message for them. She's describing the harmful effects of social media, and she suggests that lawmakers should regulate social media to make online spaces safer. I don't know about regulating anything, but let me hear what she has to say. Everything is already real tight-cheeked and everything. You can't do anything, but it seems like we're just taking everything is like being under lock and key now. Okay, everything got to be locked down. Everything locked down. I don't really agree with that, but let me just go and be quiet and check this out.
Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. Well over half of all teenage girls experience persistent sadness or feel hopeless. 1/3 of all teenage girls have seriously considered suicide.
Wow.
Let those numbers sink in with images of young people we know from our community or church. The next time we see a group of young girls, it should be jarring to know that on average, half of them have felt hopeless, and 1/3 of them have felt like ending their lives.
That is so sad, man. Oh my gracious. Listen, when y'all get a moment, find your baby girls, teenage baby girls, whatever age they are, and give them a hug and let them know that you can always come to me about anything. Tell them that you have experience. I have years of experience with things, and I'm certain you're going through something that I might be able to help you with. But don't you ever feel like you have no place here. You have, like, you still have a mission. God put you on a mission. God gave you talents and gifts at birth that you have to go out there and do something for. You have to go out there and help God's people. That's why we were given these gifts. And it may seem hard sometimes, but you got this. Listen, you were born from somebody who's a warrior. You tell them that we are strong. Our family is strong. We don't give up. We don't quit over here. If you ever need help, I got your back. But we don't quit at all. It is sad that is this social media that got kids acting like this? Oh my gracious.
We hear about the evolution of the human condition, how we're making progress, that we're better off than our parents and grandparents were, and it's true in many regards. Technology has made our lives easier in myriad ways. Technology is often benign. How technology is used is where the virtue or the pain lurks. It's good to get an Amber Alert when a child is missing. It's not good when social media is used to hurt or prey on children. It's good when we hear or see an act of kindness from half a world away. It's not good when young people can be bullied or made to feel inferior because they don't meet someone else's expectations, or they receive private messages from people who seek to do harm.
Even if they don't receive private messages, even if they're not like being made to think a certain type of way or feel a certain type of way, a lot of those battles that we have are with ourselves, because we started to play the comparison game. We started to compare our worth with someone else's worth, and it will be based off of little things that we think define worth. Like likes, like comments, like shares, like popularity, people seeing that. Here's the difference. When we were younger, the kids we saw were the kids we saw. The popular kids we saw were the popular kids we saw. The mean ones was the mean ones. The nerdy ones were the nerdy ones, so forth and so on. The funniest ones, the class clowns, we saw them. We took our tails home. We didn't see them anymore. Okay? Today's children compare themselves with other kids all day long. And you can have the most blessed life possible. Like it would be a dream life if you grew up with their life. I know you can relate, because when I talk to my kids sometimes, I have that same like way of thinking. I'm like, whoa, yo, if I grew up anything like y'all, I would have been in heaven. But not considering the fact that every single day, if they don't dress a certain type of way, it's not only going to be held within the confines of that classroom, it's going to go all over social media. Like, they see, if they want to be a pretty girl, they got to compare themselves with all pretty girls on social media. They want to be a cool boy or popular boy, they got to compare themselves to all of the popular boys all over social media. So I understand. That's why it's important, it's imperative that us as parents or big sisters or aunts and uncles or just mentors, we take some time, we take some moments out of our day and we pull them close and we let them know that we understand and we got your back. We can't say, get off that social media. No, because social media is all they know. That's all they know. But we got to reach out. We got to try to make an impact because these youngest, man, nowadays, they can't deal. There's just so much going on.
The double-edged nature of technology. Alcohol can toast a 50th wedding anniversary or lead a drunk driver to kill a family. Drugs can put us to sleep for heart surgery or plunge us into addiction. Social media can share good news or propagate pain. Many things that can help and hurt us are regulated by age and access and use. Is it time to regulate social media for those clearly harmed the most and with the least power to fight back? Joining us now is the founder of Log Off, Emma Lemke. Emma, thank you for joining us. I watched and listened to your testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee. If I heard it right, you were on social media at the age of 12. Can you give our viewers a sense of how it began to be harmful for you?
Now, this young lady right here, I'm sure she's extremely intelligent. She does not look, she looked like she has sad eyes. She looked like she has sad eyes. And maybe she does because she knows so much that's happening in her demographic, in her age group. And she's really taking a stance. So much love to her for that.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me on. At the age of 12, I downloaded my first social media account, Instagram, and as I began to spend more time on these apps, my mental and physical health suffered. From the constant quantification of my worth through likes and comments and followers, my anxiety was heightened, my depression was deepened. And as specifically a young female, the constant exposure to unrealistic body standards and harmful recommended eating disorder content led me towards disordered eating and in a direction that was not great for my mental and physical health. So I felt those negative repercussions of being on these online spaces, and that was 8 years ago, and today I still see the harm all these young girls are facing that I think is accurately reported in the CDC report that you were quoting earlier.
All right, Emma, I'm going to play a clip from the Education Secretary and then ask you a question on the other side.
The bottom line is we have an emergency room model in our schools. We only deal with the issue when we see the symptoms turn into a major outburst, a fight, or an incident that requires an emergency room visit. We have to do better building up our Tier 1 approaches to meet students where they are, when they need the support, in different ways and in ways that they're comfortable with.
All right, Emma, a 12-year-old cannot sign a contract, vote, buy tobacco or alcohol. They can't quit school. They can't even see certain movies. So why do the social media companies think it's okay for a 12-year-old child to have access to all of their platforms when there's so many other things they cannot do?
Well, the answer is easy. For these big tech platforms, the more eyeballs they have on the screen, the more profit they make. So what these companies are doing is, no matter the age, no matter how old the user is, they are going to try to maximize that attention to maximize profit, when in reality what it's causing is this fueling of the youth mental health crisis that we face today. And frankly, I think that what we're facing is the big tobacco of my generation. It's social media.
Wow, the big tobacco of her generation. It's social media. I understand. I can't be that guy anymore. I'm trying my best not to be that guy. You know, that guy that's not bothered by anything and just assume, since I'm not bothered by anything, I just assume that other people who are going through things just snap out of it and just focus on what's serious. Focus on what's right. Focus on what's real. I can't get people to do that. How could I possibly do that? That's not realistic to people who are going through this on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, I'm starting to understand. I see it.
Unregulated social media has become this weapon of mass destruction for my generation.
All right, Emma, if I have this right, you are majoring in political science, and based on your testimony before the Senate, you may be in the Senate one day. You may be in charge. So if you were, how would you regulate social media for young people? What are a couple of things that our viewers can kind of get behind? What would you do?
Well, first, I would lean away from age verification. It's a very important feature to begin to unpack, but I would seek to answer one fundamental question. How is it that we make online spaces safer when kids decide to enter? And I think two things have to come into play. One, these companies need to be regulated to have safeguards, like the highest level of privacy by default, built in to these platforms. And two, we need to see a greater algorithmic transparency so we can begin to, as a society, build solutions that are effective based off of how young people are harmed. And what we need is that data, and that is not something we have right now.
You know what? I was against it at first when I thought that she was just introducing regulation to social media. And I heard it as an adult. I'm like, regulation? No. We already dealing with so much at the moment, like censorship and many other things. But when it comes to kids, I see no issue with that. Like, because we believe that we're adults and we can't even handle most of the things we see on social media. Do you believe that an actual child whose brains aren't even fully developed yet until they about 25 can handle what they're seeing? If we're seeing sex and murder, they are seeing sex and murder. If we're seeing violence, horrible freaking presidents acting crazy, then they're seeing the exact same thing.
Emma Lemke from the halls of the Senate testifying back to her school.
So the bang bang tea, I've never had any type of issue with my sex life. Like, we're young, we're still vibrant, even though I'm almost 40 years old, we still get it in. I've been married, I've been with my husband for over 20 years, so we still get it in. But when I say, I ain't gonna give my husband's real age, but he's in his 40s, right? That stamina that happened a couple of hours after we drank that tea, and I only drank half and I gave him half. That stamina that happened, and you told me it was gonna be like half an hour. It took me about 2 hours, but when I say I was ready after about 2 hours, I was ready. Like, hold on, what you doing? You took your shower yet? You ready yet? Like, cause I'm ready, and I didn't understand why I was ready. I'm like, I'm ready, and it did exactly what you said it was gonna do.
Oh my God!
It did exactly what you said it was gonna do.
Yeah. So y'all let me know whatever y'all want me to know about this one.